All right, and now get to the big whale. Meistersinger Overture, Wagner. Hey. This is one of the most glorious overtures that exists. Fantastic instrumentation, incredible sound, everything. So it's one of the great, great masterpieces. Let's say hello to him, okay? 1, 2, 3, and!
So the first rehearsal, we take the music. It's the first time they see it, and so idea is to run through everything as much as possible for the whole piece. So they get to hear themselves, they get to hear what other people do at the same time, and mostly sometimes they get to realize what's hard and what's less hard, and kind of how to swim in it, and that's usually the biggest challenge.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. One, two, three. 10. Oh. See, key signature change. Fourth horn. Simon, this is your great moment. By E. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho. Okay. One before E.
One of the reasons this orchestra was founded was to come to grips with major masterworks. So you're being pulled, you're being challenged technically, you're being challenged musically, and you are being engaged in a way that calls forth all of your being into a commitment into this practice.
I usually practice it's hard because I always have homework on school nights too, but about 2 to 3 hours on a school day. And yeah, so I'll just practice, do some homework, compose a bit if I have the time, because time just flies. I'll probably go to school and take a double degree in composition and cello performance, hopefully, or definitely cello performance. It'd be great to be a soloist with a big orchestra and traveling around. That would be awesome. Really hard, but really fun. I think I could do that if I practiced lots and lots. Or a composer. I just want to play music and just make music.
I just felt like the children should have some music education. The same as gymnastics or soccer. I didn't think much of it in terms of lifelong activity. Rylan had his first lesson when he was 5 years old, and he just never looked back.
I was going to a string camp in Victoria, just like in the summertime for 2 weeks, and there was a few of the people that were in the orchestra there, and they said, "Oh, you should audition for GVY," and I was like, "What's GVY?" I'm just like, "It's the youth orchestra." And it's like, "Oh, I'm from Salt Spring," and they're just like, "That's okay." So I ended up auditioning that year, and I got in, and it was I was nervous because the people that told me about it were quite a bit older, because the age limit is it's pretty old in the orchestra, or there seems like there's a lot of university students and older people in it too. But it was eye-opening, and it was really, really cool to like, hey, I'm in an orchestra.
The alarm goes off, Rylan's up before I am, jumps in the shower, gets the breakfast going, I have a cup of coffee, checking the time, heading out the door, jumping in that car, racing off to the ferry. You know, if you miss the ferry, you miss your orchestra rehearsal. That's it. Like, that is it.
At the second rehearsal or the next rehearsal, the idea is to basically break it up and polish every piece of the machine, if you will, and then put it together, to bring it back together and see if it works. And usually it does. And then there is a feeling of progress.
Let's try everybody. I. Now it has to be very different characters. This is very singing. This is majestic. And it is very sharp and clean. You know, this is the backmaster. No. Wrong. Okay. I. 1, 2, 3, and. Good. Bass and tuba, don't hold too long the half note. Dim pom pim po, dim pom pa pa, da da da, pa 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 pa, da 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 da. Okay, once more. And 2, 3. Good. Kevin, put the grace a little bit before. Yakadam, yatatam, and lift the ta-ta-tam. It's very clear. Show me. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, now play forte. 1, 2, 3. No, forte. Yatatam. Yatatam. No, yatatam. No, yatatam. Nothing. Once more. Yatatam. Something. Yatatam. No. Forte. Are you angry? Not yet. Be angry. I hate you. Oh, good. What? I need, the reason I ask you more, then the whole instrument begins to vibrate. In a certain moment, you get this da-da-da. Sorry.
If somebody played in a wrong way, for instance, he would play too timidly, János will find a way to kind of demonstrate that in a comic way. The person will laugh, but it wasn't ever mean, but they will get that message.
My name is Brandon Chow. I'm a grade 11 student at St. Michael's University School, and I compose in my free time. For me, music is a wonderful way to escape from, in a sense, real life, pedantic real life. And it's that wonderful, extraordinary art that for me transcends time.
So tell me, why so many cross meters?
Mr. Reed in grade 9 was the first person to suggest that I would be appropriate for Greater Victoria Youth Orchestra, and he immediately called Sheila Redhead and got everything set up. And I auditioned for the first time, actually, on a few instruments that I didn't know how to play. I wasn't super confident in playing the tambourine, and I wasn't super confident in playing the triangle either. But I managed to make up for it. I thought the audition had gone horribly until Yariv said, "You're in, of course." And so. One of the wonderful things about being in a youth orchestra is really being dedicated to music and dedicated to making music with other youth.
I think the peer group is fantastic. They get a chance to obviously explore their own talents and their aptitudes, but to see them evolve from being very rudimentary players of any new piece of music to putting on performances that I think are professional quality is just extremely heartwarming.
I think a lot of it is the musical spirit behind the youth orchestra. I mean, the idea of, I'm not sure how many people, about 80 youth orchestra members who are young and devoted to music, gathering in one place is wonderful. And so that's part of what motivates me. The second thing that motivates me, of course, is the repertoire that we're playing. Being in an orchestra allows you to collaborate with other like-minded people and really think about music with like-minded people. And so I think that those are all wonderful benefits.
Hi, I'm Nate Bowmans. I'm in grade 8. I go to Spencer Middle School in Langford, and I go to the hockey academy there, and I play violin. I live in Cobble Hill, just outside of Victoria, over the Malahat, and I live can't see anybody from my house. There's a lot of trees around. Music's a pretty big part of my life. I mean, I practice a lot. Don't do much else, play hockey. I want to be a musician. About 5 days of my week, I'm in Victoria, either with GVYO or I have private lessons.
I am the mother of Nathan Bowmans, and my 13-year-old son who plays violin and plays hockey and roller hockey and keeps me busy. I knew he was going to do sports, so I wanted him to participate in music as well, and so he got into the violin. And I played the piano, and I figured I'd be able to play the piano with him for quite some time and accompany him. That lasted about probably 2 years. Because he did seem to have a knack for it, and I couldn't keep up. Nathan's teacher had a student playing in the GVYO, so that's kind of how we found out about it, was through her. And so we had actually gone down and watched some concerts of the GVYO before he auditioned, just to see what it was like.
Well, the first time, the manager, Sheila, she said the people were nice, like Yariv and János. They were nice, and so I wasn't that nervous. I don't get nervous playing, and it was really fun. Like, I had a great time.
That's one of the beautiful things about the GVYO is it is so well run. Everything was always well organized. You knew exactly when and where you need to be all the time. Schedules, we get a schedule in September that's for the entire year. So you know you can plan your year right then and there in September.
We're in the basement of the offices of the Church of St. John the Divine. I'm Sheila Redhead, and I'm the manager of the youth orchestra. I'm the first line of contact with the players and their families and our board. I basically do all the planning and organizing behind the scenes and at rehearsals for the orchestra.
The GVYO is a big commitment. The organizers, the conductors, the board expect 100% commitment from all of the kids, which is a little daunting. It's a team, and you know, when you're one of 2 clarinets or something in the orchestra and you're not there, it does have a big impact on the rehearsal. And it's every Saturday morning. But the kids that are in it, they never complain. They love to be there.
Well, it's really fun because you get to meet new people and make new friends and stuff. So you're just learning new things all the time.
When I started with the GVYO, the parent group is a very important group because, well, it's all volunteers. And so the kids really put a lot of effort in, put a lot of time in, and so it's our job to make sure that it's as easy as possible for them so that they can focus on their playing. So the parents do, they provide snack each week, and we do it on a rotating basis, and so that's really good. So you have to provide snack for 60 hungry kids, which is a bit of a challenge, but it's worth it because, like I said, they put a lot of time and effort in, and 3 hours is a long time for them to go without having something to eat or drink. So.
The one thing that I find wonderful is when dedicated parents who bring snacks for us each rehearsal bring out their stuff, and we're just like a flock of geese, or we all dive in. And that part of it is very family-like. And of course, János and Yariv are in the back drinking coffee and eating with us and talking with us. And so it is really a community.
This is really the time, the breaks, for them to mingle, to get to know each other, not just how they play. Because when they play, they're with the instrument and the conductor. And they communicate only by listening and doing. But in the breaks, they can talk to other teenagers, and that's really is the most important part of youth orchestra, that they are around with people who are their own age, who are doing the same things, which is the most common and most important.
Well, what better way to spend a Saturday morning than playing music, I think. I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun.
The feeling of being here, especially playing in an orchestra, it's definitely a lot different than playing by yourself at home. Because in an orchestra, you can feel the music, I guess. There's a lot more instruments, so it feels nice to be here, I guess.
Well, it's important for me to keep up like a variety of, because I'm doing really heavy sciences, so it's important that I have other things that are kind of a break from that.
I get to meet all these amazing people and play music with them, which I think is pretty cool.
There's not that many places other than like in an orchestra where you have lots of people just like completely working together like this.
It's the social interaction, and also it's just the joy of playing music, and it's like in the, you know, it's like the whole package.
What you have to be a little more eager. Play only violas and cellos. 1, 2, 3, 4 exactly. Where does the crescendo start? And now it's not param, pirim. Huh? It's a long short. Tarim, param.
2 downs, 2 ups. What would you like? Because cellos have 2 downs, we have 2 up bows.
2 ups.
2 up bows?
Do you have 2 ups or down up? 2 ups?
2 ups. 2 ups.
Maybe the first one up, the second one down. Whatever it is, the last one should be down. Okay? Now not too short. It's not 8 notes. 3 and da 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 da. That's right. We won't be alone, but now you are. Once more. 3 and. In the sectional work, which usually a rehearsal is devoted only to one part of the orchestra, let's say just the strings, which I usually take, we can concentrate on things that we don't have time to concentrate in the full rehearsals. A lot of it is about the producing of the sound itself, where to play the notes, how to play the notes, which part of the bow. Sometimes you want to play really long notes that's kind of lying down. Sometimes you want bouncy notes that can almost dance on the string. It's kind of in-depth and much more knowledgeable technical idea. of how to produce the music. No non-divisi chords. I don't want a Haydn concerto. No. Okay? Last 2 bars. Right in tempo. 3 and. Good, thank you. Good work.
The fact that they are doing it together, not in isolation, and that every one of them has a share, takes a part in that responsibility in creating a whole that is so much larger than the individual. And for a young person to be part of that experience is a privilege and a very profound undertaking. That's what they're there for. That's what the mission of a youth orchestra is.
When people come for their audition, they first come to me and basically let them know when their audition is and escort them to their audition. Some of them are very well prepared and have been through the process before. For others, it's a brand new situation, and I try to be a friendly face.
Everybody have to do auditions in the youth orchestra, even if they played already. And the reason is there's always new people and people who were there already. We have to find how to sit them, who should be leader of a section. So they have to play certain pieces. They play a solo piece, they play some orchestral pieces, and we can decide, we can immediately know what is their level, what they can do, and in some cases what they cannot do. We know they're not complete professionals yet, so we're looking for 2 things. We're looking first of all for how musical they are. What is the potential? What we have to work with.
My name is Aubrey Kelly, and I'm from a farm just outside of Regina, Saskatchewan. Basically grew up in Regina. I went to school there. And I am a trombone performance major at the University of Victoria. I'm just finishing my degree. I took piano lessons from the time I was 5, continued that for 5 years. The piano didn't really, I never wanted to practice that, but as soon as I started band, I really loved it. I, fell in love with the sound of the trombone. When I was in grade 12 and had accepted the offer to come to UVic, I was playing in the youth orchestra in Regina and was curious if Victoria had one and just looked it up on the internet. And practicing your instrument on your own is one thing and usually isn't all that fun, but when you have the chance to play with other people, there's the aspect of working together to create, one product, like the synergy that that is created. It's a really unique and great experience. Older players have the opportunity to mentor younger players, and younger players have these older players to look up to and learn from. So it's a really great symbiotic relationship.
Not very loud, but try to recall the notes, okay? Very beginning. 3. Let's try in tempo, otherwise we die. Okay. Tim, pam, pa, pa. But only technically listen. 1, 2, 3, and. The orchestra is developing very nicely. Mm-hmm. It's always the same process with a young orchestra. The very beginning, they are shocked and they feel they will never do it. And for a while, you have the feeling maybe they're right. You are a little faster, you are a little slower. You are tita, tita, ta, ni, he, it's not the same. Yatta, ta, once more. Listen, listen. They come prepared, but it needs a long time to mature in themselves. It sounds like a jellyfish. Always the rhythm. A, 3. And when they conquered it and they know what to do, then suddenly it's a miracle happening. Suddenly they know it, they're confident, and they give at the very end a wonderful sound and the special energy of the young people. Ta 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 te-ri. It's boring. It's boring. Yum ta ta tam pam 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 ping pam yum pam 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 pam. They are so eager to get from the conductor. So you have to do and have to give everything for them. But when they respond, that's something. You get back this energy multiplied, which is wonderful.
Well, my feeling, first and foremost, was profound concern at how ill he really was. And then probably astonishment would be the best way to describe it, at how he just put that beside him. He put that somewhere else and was utterly and totally involved in the music. He had the ability, it was just an astonishing ability, to place himself utterly and fully in the moment and in the music.
The day before the final concert, János and I had a talk, and he said, you know, I really think I won't have enough power to do the concert, and I think you should take it. And I said, I hate to do that, but I would, of course, will do that.